When you think about how young these Motown folks were, the average age was 23. You have your Supremes who are fresh out of high school, 18, 19. Stevie Wonder, he's 11. Marvin Gaye in his 20s. Engineers, 18. It just speaks to what can happen when you put young, talented, creative people in a room together.
Welcome back to the Bobcast. I'm your host, Bob Riney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health, and I am thrilled to have you joining us today. The Bobcast is where Detroit's future comes into view. It is where you'll hear the big ideas, bold voices, and crucial conversations that are shaping our city, our region, and beyond. Real and unapologetically focused on creating a stronger, more vibrant future. With grit and grace, this podcast introduces you to the relentless visionaries who are driving change and tackling some of the biggest challenges we face today. I am so excited to welcome the amazing woman that is sitting across from me. Robin Terry is the CEO of the Motown Museum, and she is the great niece of the amazing Berry Gordy. And for me personally, Motown and Motown Museum is my nostalgic center. It's the place where when a song comes on, I am singing out loud no matter how I sound. And for Henry Ford Health and for Henry Ford Hospital, this amazing house where so much musical magic that transformed not just this city, not just this country, but the world took place is less than 100 yards away. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Bob. It's always fun to get to hang out with you, but to do this, have this conversation, it's an honor, so thank you.
Let's just get right into it. The legends that came out of Motown are just so well known and extraordinary. But what's it like to serve in the role that you have served in so well for so many years, carrying that legacy on your shoulders?
It's inspiring. You know, I tell people all the time that even though I'm the chair and CEO of the organization, my favorite thing to do is to take people on tours, to meet people from all over the world who are experiencing that little house, Hitsville, for the first time. It's a labor of love, without question, but it's a calling to do work that I believe is important, telling the story of all of those people who made history in that little house and making sure they're not forgotten.
I think most of our listeners will be surprised, as I was, to learn what that small destination does in terms of visitors from around the world.
We're the only original recording studio, never been anything but a recording studio, standing on this planet. And so people travel from all over the world. We see visitors every generation, every ethnicity. It's probably what I love most, Motown's ability to bring people who are very different together, and then they find common ground in that space because they look at each other and go, oh, you like Motown? I like Motown. Folks just make the journey. Many don't speak English, but they press their way to that little house in Detroit because they're musical icons. Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Temptations, Four Tops, Supremes, Contours, Gladys Knight, Martha Reeves Vandellas, the Jackson 5 got their start there.
Motown music, when I think about it, challenged us around political advocacy. It held a mirror up to us about things that needed change. And it also provided healing when maybe we were struggling. Do people get that when they come through the museum?
They do. Motown was founded in 1959. The music in the 60s was really about, and these are Berry Gordy's words, they were writing music about things that were true, feelings, emotions that all humans experienced. Everybody wanted to experience love, joy, peace. And so they wrote about those things, and as a result, that music of the 60s resonated with people, no matter what their station in life was. Then you move into the 70s, and you start to get into more of the protest music of Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, Edwin Starr, War, What Is It Good For?
Absolutely nothing.
And at that point, they begin to reflect society in a different way because they are reflecting through the music what's happening with a lot of the protests around the country. And so the music evolves and it becomes the sound of Young America because Young America was leading the protests. So it was reflecting what young people were feeling. And then, of course, you get into the late 70s and 80s, and it starts to take yet another turn. And you start to get into Psychedelic Shack and some other things like that. So it's a music that has continued to reflect back what was happening in the communities.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Is there a single song that you think really represents the heart of Motown more than anything else?
I think Martha Reeves' Dancing in the Street has been sort of the Motown anthem. But I think about moments we're in right now, and Marvin Gaye's What's Going On resonates.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
It's timeless. I find it really ironic in a great way that Henry Ford Hospital and Motown Hitsville sit less than a block from each other, and healthcare is now understanding the power of music in healing.
Yes.
In creating an environment where people reduce their stress in a hospital because of music and art. And so as we build our new hospital tower, we want to infuse it with music and art and all of those things that stimulate the senses in such a positive way. And guess what? There's research that shows it reduces length of stay. It reduces anxiety. And we've got something that we can just continue to evolve.
I remember one of our earliest conversations was around music therapy. And it was the research at the time that connected the music of your childhood specifically with healing. We get letters from people. We had someone in your cancer center. This gentleman had a collection of Motown music. He was going for his chemotherapy and wanted to listen to Motown music, but they didn't have any in the archive. And he ended up writing us a letter, letting us know that he donated his collection
how great is
to
that?
the hospital. So it's real. We also saw it just after the pandemic. There was this influx of young people coming to the museum. And I personally went out and I'm asking, what brought you here? And people felt the need to just come check in on culture, steady themselves, and then get back into the world.
What are the most common reactions that you get from visitors when they come to the current Hitsville, USA?
Crying, or it's a silence, particularly when they step into Studio A and they're standing in the footsteps of those musical greats in that tiny room, and for the first time getting a sense of all of the music that was created there from 1959 to 1972, all coming out of this little bitty room. And people tend to get very quiet, and then they're full, and they just feel sort of overwhelmed with emotion in that moment.
People would be blown away if they saw the list of the world's greatest artists from all genres of music that find their way to Motown and to Hitsville.
Wynonna Judd was definitely one of my favorites. She spent 3 hours there, and she just wanted to be still and quiet in the space. Then we just had an artist who's also a movie star also, and he just wanted to sweep a little bit of the floor because he wanted tiny little fragments, which we allowed him to take with him for inspiration. Beyoncé's been there multiple times. There's every kind of artist, country music, rock and roll, R&B, hip hop, and they all make their way to that little house for inspiration.
It tells me that in many ways, some of the people going there, it's almost a spiritual experience.
Without question. Another person whose visit just really stands out to me, and she doesn't know this, is Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato came to the museum about 1.5 years ago, and she sat and played the piano. And she was going through her own healing in life. And you could tell as she played that piano, it was just the most beautiful, spiritual experience that she was having right in front of us.
That's awesome. One of the things that visitors also are boggled about is how small of a space, the music that came out of that tiny house, that Studio A. And you've had the challenge of space constraint that you can only show exhibits to the public of a small fraction of the memorabilia. But that's not for long, because under your leadership, some unbelievable changes are happening.
You are absolutely right. If there's any challenge, it is that the physical space that is Hitsville is a tiny little 2-story home in Detroit. It's the reason we sell out most of the year so quickly. And the biggest challenge is that we have the largest organized archive of Motown memorabilia anywhere in the world. So what you're seeing is this tiny thumbnail of what's there. So we embarked on a vision and a campaign to create a full campus that celebrates the legacy of Motown, and now will allow us to tell the hundreds and hundreds of stories of all of those people who were part of it, if they were in the background or the foreground. There are many unsung heroes in the Motown story that our future visitors will learn about.
What's amazing, too, is while some of the artists, like the Jackson 5, came from neighboring states, most of these artists came from the immediate neighborhoods.
I mean, outside of like the Four Tops, Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Jackson 5, most of those acts lived in Detroit within 5 miles of Hitsville. They were going to the same high schools, same churches, same nightclubs, and it was just a community of musicians, jazz musicians. And when you think about how young these Motown folks were, at one time, Motown had 450 employees, and the average age was 23.
Wow.
You have your Supremes who are fresh out of high school, 18, 19. Stevie Wonder, he's 11. Marvin Gaye in his 20s. Engineers, 18. And they're being left in this house with this visionary, this musical genius.
Berry Gordy.
To just create and innovate and make music. And what you get out of that was the Motown sound. And it just speaks to what can happen when you put young, talented, creative people in a room together.
A fair number of those artists that were in that 5-mile radius were born at Henry Ford Hospital and got their care at Henry Ford. So, we're going to steal a little bit of that credit.
I love it.
But it's really a powerful story about Detroit, about the impact of music through the times of our lives. And I think the fact that you're going to be able to have an environment now that can welcome more people and expose them to even greater aspects of Motown is going to give it a whole new life. What's the response from the philanthropic community and from the Motown artists that are still with us to this journey?
It's been well received. We're grateful to have raised well over that $50 million. We're at $71 million today.
How about that?
Yeah. And not only did Henry Ford jump in to say, hey, we're here to support you, but the philanthropic community at large, Ford Motor Company was our lead corporate donor. Folks just jumped in because they knew this was Detroit's opportunity to tell this important Detroit story. And now we're breaking ground on the final phase of the expansion, so we look forward to opening in 2026.
This is our fantasy way to think of ourselves as Motown stars when we don't have any talent in that regard.
I love it. I love it. But Motown and Detroit are synonymous around the world. So, it was an opportunity to take this jewel that sits in our backyard, that is Hitsville, and finally give it the love that it deserves. Just excited to be part of the vision for that.
I got to send a team of researchers over to Hitsville because I'm convinced there's something that was in the water because I just heard Gladys Knight in concert.
She is by far my favorite female voice.
Me too. her voice is so distinct and unique, and her ability to put points of emphasis on a song, I still haven't seen anyone be able to replicate that.
And her voice has sustained, to your point. She sustained that great voice. It was getting better and better and better.
What's your favorite Gladys Knight song?
Neither one of us.
Because neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye.
My second is about If Anyone Should Ever
Yes,
Write My Life
My
Story.
Life Story. For Any Reason There Might Be.
That is such a
You'll Be There.
storytelling song.
They're beautiful, beautiful lyrics.
They're beautiful lyrics, and when she sings it to an audience, you swear she's singing it to you. It's magic.
You'll be there.
And you can connect that song to so many people in your lives
Yeah.
who may not know how important they are to your life.
For these individuals, the retention of their voices and their concert capabilities defies odds.
There's no question about that. A big part of it, I think, was the coaching and the training that happened at Motown. I mean, you had people like Maxine Powell, who was doing professional development, teaching them poise and how to carry themselves, and Charlie Atkins doing choreography, and Maurice King vocal coaching. That training matters. It separates the popular from the iconic. And so these acts became iconic, but much of that was what Motown was pouring into them. And now we're doing the same thing through our Hitsville Next programming.
Motown has just continued. It's still so popular to be used in modern movies as background music. The words are as relevant today as they were 30 and 40 years ago. And if you have not had a chance to go to Hitsville, USA, make sure you do. It is a feel-good experience, and you are going to walk away humming, singing, and probably bad dancing. Robin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for your leadership, not only at Henry Ford Health, but in the community and with Motown Museum.
You are more than welcome. I was so looking forward to having Robin Terry on because I have watched her in action, and this is a case of someone that could really lead any company. She's smart. She knows how to balance her budget. She knows how to hire good people. But her real passion for this mission called the History of Motown just shines through in everything that she does. And the fact that she's the great niece of Berry Gordy, the founder, and just the amazing architect of Motown, I know is part of her personal mission because she talks to him on a regular basis. So when you see someone that is so adept and so able to lead almost anything, but they're leading a place that they truly love, I relate to that and I respect it. If you enjoyed this episode, please click follow so you will never miss a future episode. Share us with your friends and leave us a 5-star rating and review, which will help others find us. If you have suggestions for a topic or a guest, email us at bobcast@hfhs.org. Remember, every action we take today is a step towards the future we're building together. Let's keep striving, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Let's use positive momentum to carry us through an era that's filled with troubling questions. Until next time, take care and keep making a difference.